At the launch of the movie, we're shown a girl. Her name was Zoe. Zoe was going to meet her fiancé. Her mama gives her a auto through which she can go there. Her mama asks her to be careful and says farewell to her. Zoe says to her mama, "Do not worry about me, I'll reach there." Zoe was happy and was veritably agitated to meet her fiancé. She likes to take selfies. That is why she takes a selfie after some time and sends it to her fiancé, to tell him her position, that where she is. During the trip, she meets an old man who was dealing handwrought effects. After seeing those effects, Zoe set on her trip. During the driving, she was using mobile, due to which she loses her attention from the road. During this, suddenly an injured man comes in front of her auto. That is why Zoe applies to brake incontinently. Due to it, that man survives. As Zoe sees outside, she sees that man falls down. Also, she sees that a gang was chasing the other man poorly. Those people of the gang killed that man while rushing the auto on him severely. Now they were moving towards Zoe. Zoe wanted to help that injured man who was on road. That is why she precipitously moves out from the auto and put that man in her auto. She was about to run from there, but also the gang arrive there. They hold Zoe and start teasing her. Also, they in front of her eyes kill that injured man poorly. They were teasing Zoe a lot. Due to is, she runs from there. But also the leader of that gang named Trey points Zoe. The pellet shoots on Zoe's leg. Due to it, Zoe falls down incontinently. Also, they take her with them and tie her with the bed. Also, they torture her a lot, and it was done bad with her. Zoe was feeling important pain. On the other side, Zoe's fiancé was upset about Zoe. That it's too late and she had not returned home yet. That is why he sees the last picture transferred by Zoe. There was a board visible in that picture. Because of that board, he finds Zoe's last position. He incontinently calls police and asks them to search Zoe. On the other side, the leader of gang Trey was still torturing Zoe. Trey tells that I'm grandson of that man who finished a lineage from America. He also shows her the cut-off heads of the members of that lineage. Those were turned into configurations. He tells that those were their heads who were killed by my forefather. He picks a cranium among those craniums. He tells Zoe that this is the cranium of the leader of that lineage. He was a commander. Hearing it and seeing those craniums, Zoe gets spooked. Actually, Trey was telling verity about his fathers. Also, the gang drank and they were enjoying themselves. Meanwhile, a man of the gang says that we should kill Zoe now. That man was actually Trey's friend. Trey says that I want to torture Zoe more. That is why you won't kill her now. On it, they go with the help of cards. So Trey's friend wins this bet, and that is why he goes to kill Zoe with a cutter. On the other side, Zoe, ever after bearing a lot of pain, releases herself hardly. She begins to run from there, but Trey's friend sees her. He holds Zoe and stabs her with a cutter several times. Due to it, Zoe dies there. Also, that old man who was dealing effects, he was walking with his canine. Also, he finds the dead body of Zoe. He lifts her dead body and sticks her at his position. He makes a drug after mixing some sauces and putting it on her crack. Then we come to know that old man belonged to that lineage that was finished by Trey's forefather. Also, that old man perform a ritual while seeing some magic spells to bring Zoe's soul back in her body. During it, Zoe's body starts flying in the air. There was actually a soul came in her body. Zoe's face had come horrible, means her eyes were turned black. Also, she attacks that old man. But that old man makes Zoe faint soon. That perhaps police arrest them. That is why they go to their homes and begin to pack their luggage. But when one of Trey's friend comes out of his house, he sees that someone had thrown arrows at his auto. Seeing it, Trey's friend gets alarmed and he leaves a voice note for him. He tells him that I'm feeling that girl around me. Meanwhile, Zoe arrives there and starts killing him with arrows. She shoots him numerous arrows. She shoots arrows until he dies. After it, when Trey hears his friend's communication, he incontinently goes there. Seeing there, he sees that someone had killed his friend. Also Zoe sees THST her body is being rotting and there were insects in her body. Seeing it, Zoe goes to that old man and asks its result from him. Also that old man makes her understands that actually he set up her body from the grave. You were dead when I set up you. So I performed a ritual and called your soul back. But at that time with your soul one further soul came in your body. That soul was none other than of that commander who was the leader of that lineage. Leader's soul wanted to take vengeance for numerous times. That leader's soul wanted to take vengeance from that whole family after finishing them. The family who killed their lineage, and these are the people who have done wrong with you, means Trey's family. It means leaders and your adversary are same. That old man also tells Zoe that your body is rotting and we've a short time. So, we've to do commodity soon. On the other side, Trey was making plan to abduct Zoe's fiancé, so that Zoe couldn't harm them. She'll not harm them. Zoe's fiancé was weeping while missing her and he was veritably sad. Also Trey and his companions arrived there and they beat him poorly. Also they lifted him, put him in their auto and were going from there. But when they were leaving from there, Zoe arrives there. She shoots an arrow on the neck of Trey's friend. Due to it he gets injured and he starts bleeding. Also Trey and his friend gets shocked after seeing Zoe alive. They run from there, Zoe also runs from there and jumps on their auto. There Zoe and Trey's friend fights. Trey's friend stabs Zoe several times. But it didn't affect Zoe. Zoe was about to kill Trey's friend, but also Trey applies brake. Due to it Zoe falls down in front of the auto. Trey crushes Zoe several times with the auto, but it was useless. Trey gets shocked after seeing that how is she still alive. He doesn't waste time to suppose about it, he runs from there while saving his life. That take Zoe's fiancé at a place and tie him. Trey's companion who was injured because of the arrow was still in pain. They weren't taking that friend to the sanitarium. Trey's friend was telling him that when I saw use of Zoe, those were black. It seems like there is a soul in her. Hearing it, Trey says that I know about an old man. He lives at the place where you buried Zoe. Perhaps he'd done this and he called any soul in Zoe's body. The secret thing is that old man belongs to that lineage. Also we see that Trey hires a lot of men. They were having a lot of ordnance. On the other side Zoe was binding her body with a tape recording. And she was sad. But also there the soul of that leader means the soul of commander arrives. He gives 2 munitions to Zoe which they used in the war. Now the night falls and the injured friend of Trey was feeling pain. He wanted to go sanitarium now. He intimately moves from there in an auto to go to the sanitarium. Also suddenly Zoe comes in front of his auto. She throws a rod towards him. Due to it the auto loses its control and turns, with it one further friend of Trey dies. On the other side Trey was telling everything to Zoe's fiancé. That how they all had done wrong with his fiancé. They torture her a lot. Hearing it Zoe's fiancé feels veritably bad and he starts weeping. After it when Trey sees Zoe he cautions his companions. But Zoe become killing everybody one through one. After it Trey become attempting to find his friend, however he involves realize that Zoe had killed him too. But then Zoe's concealed friend's coronary heart in the front of him she eats in the front of his eyes. Seeing it he receives scared and springs out of doors at the same time as running. Going out of doors he sees a police officer. He kills that police officer and runs from there. Then Zoe is going to her fiancé weeps loads after seeing her. Zoe's fiancé asks Zoe to live close to him. But Zoe have brief time to take revenge. She leaves from there due to the fact she desired to take her revenge. Then Trey involves that antique guy and asks him that inform me how Zoe will become alive. On it, that antique guy tells him the entirety. He additionally tells Trey that now the tribe chief's soul is found in Zoe. That soul will loosen up after completing your entire family. Hearing it Trey asks him that a way to get rid from that soul. On it that antique guy says that you need to burn the cranium of that chief. Doing this his soul will depart Zoe's frame. Then police unearths Zoe's fiancé, they make him launch from that vicinity and investigates. Then the soul of that tribe's chief kill Trey's mother. and that soul leaves from there. Then Trey reaches at an area after taking all skulls. But there wasn't the cranium of the tribe's chief. Then Zoe arrives there, she had the cranium of that tribe's chief. Seeing her, Trey receives amazed, and to store his lifestyles he is taking out a chainsaw and begins off evolved fighting. Zoe cuts a hand of Trey and Trey stabs that chainsaw in Zoe's frame. After it, Zoe cuts Trey's neck. Due to it, ultimately Trey additionally dies. Here the revenge of Zoe and that chief completes. After a while Zoe's fiancé additionally comes there. Because that antique guy known as him there. He sees the half of a part of Zoe's frame with inside the grave. He says to Zoe that I like you so much. After it he burns Zoe's frame. With it Zoe and that chief's soul were given peace. Because their revenge become completed. Here Zoe's fiancé does now no longer realize what become taking place there. Then that antique guy tells him the entirety that what had befell with Zoe. He additionally tells that why she killed them. Here this film ends. Thanks for watching.